Good morning, Yankees universe. KOD Nation, stand up. And all you DJs, wake up and get your coffee. Welcome to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew. This Thursday, October 20th. It's 11:01 a.m. Shout out to the chat. I want to start off with my man James Cook, who is in the building. Mr. James Cook, what it do, baby? Last night, the Astros bullpen outlasted the Yankees bullpen last night. Literally came down to that. Eric Wallace, good morning. Hope all is well. My brother, my man, Pots and Pans, DG, good morning. Hope all is well. But yeah, Yankee fans, we're going to have to talk about it because it was a head scratcher. First and foremost, shout out to Jameson Taillon. Taillon gave us all he could. 4 in the third. He did walk 3 batters. He didn't record a strikeout. That's the one thing that was concerning about Taillon. Didn't record a strikeout. That meant that the Astro hitters were trying to swing early and do damage early. And you saw that. Jameson Taillon was able to have the fastball bear in on right-handers, bear in on left-handers, get a few little easy pop-ups, some ground balls that were weak. He did give up that double to the bottom half of the lineup, Martin Maldonado, and that's what happens. When you're in a playoff series like the Yankees and the Astros are in the ALCS, the top 2 teams, Yankees and Astros, Astros having a better record on the season, but it's going to determine you win that series or you win that game by whose better half of the bottom half of the lineup shows up. So yesterday, the Astros won that match. Their bottom half of the lineup showed up while the Yankees' bottom half of the lineup didn't. Also, shout out to Harrison Bader, Lord Bader, with another home run, his 4th of the postseason. Harrison Bader has literally came in and put on those pinstripes and has been a living legend since putting on those pinstripes. Defensively, offensively, you can't ask anything more from Harrison Bader, right? But then you have the ugly stuff. Then you have Josh Donaldson, who can't hit a curveball to save his life. He literally looks like a 4-year-old kid trying to learn miniature golf for the first time. Shout out to the guys from NY News TV. Pete Simonetti, what it do, baby? James Cook says game boiled down to 17 strikeouts to 2 strikeouts. Yeah. And when you look at it, those 17 strikeouts, 7 of those strikeouts came from Josh Donaldson and from Matt Carpenter, who is not looking like the old Matty Carpenter. But I'll be joined momentarily by my brother Jigga Man Porto. This morning, if you guys didn't see, we were he's right here. We were on the Pinstripe Chronicles podcast, myself and Jigga Man, with Tats, with Donald, with Rob. It was a great conversation. I highly recommend checking that out. But whenever Jigga Man's ready, he could just pop on in and we can have this conversation. Oh, I see him backstage.
Yo. Oh, what's up? Yo, can you explain something to me, bro?
What's up?
How do we line me up to be on a couple of Yankees podcasts the morning after the shit we went through last night? Like, this is the worst day to do like a Yankees tour. You know what I mean? I'm like, but I gotta tell you, man, hanging out with Pinstripe Chronicles with Tats and Rob and Derek, great conversation, man. Love hanging out with those guys. Did you tell people on this channel what your game plan is? And I see that we got Mr. NY News in the chat. How you doing? How you doing?
How you doing?
Did you tell him our game plan?
No, I was waiting for you, baby.
Oh,
I was waiting for you, brother.
So I'm glad you're here, Pete, because you actually were brought up in the conversation. You don't even know it, but Hector is setting it up with Pinstripe and them. We're gonna go ahead and, I guess the best way to put it is we're gonna literally steal Aaron Boone. We're gonna stash him away. And see, I was trying to not say that word so we weren't held liable when it happens. And then we'd have Pete. We're gonna throw you in, bro. You're gonna run the team. All right. You're gonna give him a bunch of this. You're gonna give him a bunch of we got a game plan, Pete. So we just need to know you're in, bro. If you're in,
we just what we need for this Yankee team is whenever they come back to the dugout, they just need Pete Simonetti right there, just rip it into their ear, because we all know in the Yankees universe, when it comes to making noise, Pete Simonetti and his mic drops, those are legendary mic drops. So we need the players inside the dugout to have the mic drops up close and personal.
Yeah, but why do I feel like if that happened for real, Pete would come say some crazy shit. You'd back him up, right?
Mhm.
Tats would sit there just looking like the muscle, right? Yo, we wouldn't even have to cut people. Like, I feel like, I hate to say one name, but IKF, he would have probably just walked out on his own. He's like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah,
you guys are mean.
He would have did his Eric Cartman, screw you guys, I'm going home.
I hate you guys.
I'm going home. And of course, we got DiCatrio in the chat. DiCatrio, good morning, brother. Good morning. Good morning. Just know I'm not running, baby. I'm here. You guys won the first game.
Hector, producing DiCastrio's show. By the way, if people haven't checked out KOD University, you want college football coverage, that's the man right there. Him and the boys, they lock it down every week. Do you know how painful it was to have the Knicks on one screen? I had the Yankees game on the other screen. At the same time, I'm producing DiCatrio in my ear the entire time, celebrating every time the Astros did. Yo, it was like a torture I'm not even familiar with. All right.
And well, it was annoying because I was watching a college football show last night just so I could see his reaction. And he's literally talking to the guys, but at the same time, he's looking at the side to the TV that's on the side. Shout out to my brother Worldwide. Shout out to my guy Worldwide Mayberry, who's in the building. Tough loss yesterday, but guess what? Both the Jets and Giants are doing good. You can't go wrong when both the Jets and Giants are doing good.
But bro, we can say it was a tough Knicks loss, but you know what? Our boy showed up.
Oh, yeah.
For a minute there, it felt like we had nothing going. Then all of a sudden, that life kicked in, boy. So the fact that we competed was dope. But Knicks lost, Worldwide just said it.
Knicks lost, Yankees lost. Where is the Jets and Giants when you need them? And who would have thought? October 20th, we would have been saying that, Jigga. Where's the Jets and Giants when you need them? Who would have thought that, bro?
But like a true fan of the Jets, bro, I'm not rushing for Sunday. Let me enjoy a week of having the record we have, okay? And then but man, crazy season, crazy stuff, bro. Let's talk Yankees.
Let's do it, baby. And I'm gonna start it off with the stats. I'm gonna bring in the stats real quick, and let's break down the Yankees before we talk about the Astros because obviously they won. But when it comes to these Yankee stats, let's start off with the lineup, Jigga, man. Right?
Yeah.
So when we bring up this lineup, it was a very putrid lineup last night. But Gleyber Torres leading it off. He was 0 for 4. Aaron Judge 0 for 4 in right field. Anthony Rizzo 1 for 2. He had a walk. He was hit by a pitch. Big G, both of us, our man crush Giancarlo Stanton in left field, 2 for 4. First of all, I'm gonna just stop this real quick. Did you see him run into that wall and break the scoreboard? He literally broke the scoreboard when he went back there. Man,
listen, you could tell I'm old, bro. You know why? Because I'm at the point where it happened. Some people were like, "Oh, snap," and I was like, "Oh my God, is he okay?" Because he looked at
yeah.
I was like, no, Jerry.
And with his history of injuries, we didn't want that to happen. But then we had Josh Donaldson, who was 0 for 3. Matt Carpenter, the DH, was 0 for 4. Harrison Bader in center field, 1 for 4 with that bomb of a home run off of Verlander. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa doing the best he can at shortstop. He was 1 for 4. And Jose Trevino, our amigo, was 0 for 4. So when it comes to this lineup, any standouts or any disappointments in this lineup for you, Jigga?
I love how you asked that, right? And it's like,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, you know me, man. Like, I never get too high, too low on our teams, right? I mean, you can't. Thank you, Jets, for building that in me that you can't do that. But we all weren't happy with the lineup from the gate, right? From the jump, we were not happy with it. I mean, there's not a single tweet out yesterday from any of us that was like, what are we doing? Right? Because it just didn't make sense. But we talked about it earlier, bro. Like, you can't have 0 and 4 with Gleyber as your leadoff, right? You can't have Judge over 4, right? And with Judge, you can already see it, right? He's expanding that strike zone. He's trying. It's like, yo, Judge, we don't need the Judge that carried us all season. We just need you to make sure that ball's in play. I was more excited when Judge was hitting those doubles and those singles and getting the ball rolling.
Yes.
Right? We're not seeing that at all in these playoffs right now. I love October G. You know that. I mean, let's be real. I love September G. I love August G.
I love July.
It sucks when you have to look at this lineup and the chances we had last night where we were put in positions to rely on Donaldson, IKF, right? Matty Carpenter. We all love Matty. but we're still we're still locked in on the Matty that happened before the injury, right? The Matty that came in out of nowhere. We can't expect that from him right away. And another game of proof, over 4. Was not happy with the lineup. I think it needs to be changed like there's no tomorrow, man.
Yeah, 100%. Josh Donaldson, and this is not us just taking a shot at Josh Donaldson, but proof is in the pudding. He can't hit anymore. This is the first time in his career since his rookie season he didn't hit 20 home runs. Minus the injury season he had with Cleveland, this is the first season he hasn't hit 20 home runs. When it comes to him in the postseason, Josh Donaldson is a career 260 hitter in the postseason, and that's going back to his MVP days with the Blue Jays and with the Oakland A's, right? So Josh Donaldson, he doesn't have it anymore. We saw it last night. He can't hit the curveball to save his life, right? And on top of it, he can't catch up with the 95-plus heater anymore. It's just done, and something needs to happen, whether it's Peraza playing shortstop, moving IKF to third base, or Peraza at shortstop with Cabrera at third base, because we want to keep Giancarlo Stanton's bat in the lineup, keep him in left field, and we need even though Matt Carpenter went 0 for 4, he had 4 strikeouts. We need Matt Carpenter out there getting his reps in. We when this team is good is when Matt Carpenter is hitting good as well.
Right. You see, but let me ask you, Hector, like for real, and I want the chat too. I appreciate that. I want to ask the chat too. Isn't it crazy how if Donaldson would have done something last night, this conversation changes, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It doesn't change the facts of, what kind of season he's had and everything, but it goes across the entire order, man. If we're not performing as a unit, you can see it. How many games, bro, when the chemistry is there and everybody's in that happy freaking let's go, it's solid, right? When we have several people going over 4, especially guys like Judge, Torres, right? Yeah, Carpenter going over 4. When you have that, it's the whole team that just falls. Even when Rizzo's cracking a home run, if that energy is not there with everybody, and you saw it again last night. But look, I saw Keith's comment in the chat, bro. Did you see that one?
Yeah. I bring it back
he's
up
right
now.
Right? Verlander was vintage. You had to get him early. You had to hit it, right? We had Bader do his thing. We just didn't capitalize at all. Yeah. Forget the 8th inning where we had a chance. Forget all that. Because there's no reason why we should be in the 8th hoping to get more than 1 run.
That's how you know you're having a bad day. When you're in the 8th inning and you're expecting, oh my God, we're going to pinch hit this young guy and hopefully Jose Trevino gets a hit. You're in a bad form right there. You're behind the 8 ball, as they say. But when it comes to the lineup, right? This entire season, it's like it's been a mystery bag of like who's batting where, who's leading off, and who's cleaning up. We have a steady lineup when you have Stanton there, Rizzo there. Those are our 2 staples, right? When it comes to this lineup, Stanton and Rizzo, they've carried us. They've been protection for Judge this entire season. And so far in the postseason, they've been our most productive bats in this lineup besides Harrison Bader, right? Aaron Judge, even though he had 62 home runs, he's struggling, right? And a big point of yesterday's game that a good note is when it came to Justin Verlander, right? He pitched 6 innings. In those 6 innings, 15 of the batters that he faced, he got ahead of the count by just allowing a pitch to just be called a strike. So they're taking the pitches, right? They're not swinging early when it came to they didn't swing early when it came to Justin Verlander. It was 15 pitches that they took to start an at bat. A fastball down the middle. You're not gonna have much success against Justin Verlander if you're not hacking away early.
Yeah, no, agreed. And it's both sides, right? It's not like the Astros did like amazing stuff. What they end up with, like 7 hits, 6 hits?
The Astros, I'll tell you right now how many hits they had.
And they had three bombs that went off, right? So no one was really capitalizing. Obviously, they capitalized a little bit better than we did, but I think it still comes back to that lineup, bro. Like they
had the same amount of hits like us. We had 5 hits. They had 5 hits.
Exactly. So it's not like they routed us. Yeah, they won. And when you're when you have a performance like that from Verlander and we're not touching the ball, there's nothing you can do. But you've got to change this lineup, man. You've got to. You can't keep putting us in a position that we have to sit there and be like, okay, IKF's going to do it, or Josh Donaldson. Like, bring me our young guys. Let's move pieces around. And if you're going to keep IKF in there, move his ass to third base.
Yeah.
Get him over there. Put him in his natural spot. Let's utilize him there. If I have to be stuck with him, why does it have to be with the test structure? No, put him over there. Bring our young boy in and let's roll. But man, we've got to see something different tonight. And I don't know if Boone's gonna do it.
I don't. And we're going to touch on to the pitching side of things. I'm gonna look over to the pitching side of things because we could get a aneurysm, a brain aneurysm, talking about this lineup anymore. But when it comes to the pitching side of things, right? Jameson Taillon, like I started off early, he pitched 4 in the third, 4 hits, 1 run, 3 walks. You know, Jameson Taillon is known as a control pitcher, so having 3 walks was a bit shaky. And I think that's why Boone pulled him as early as he did, because he was walking batters, right? And then you look at Clark Smith, who came in. He pitched the inning, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, no strikeouts. He came in for Taillon and got that double play, and that was a big double play. We needed it, right? But then he gives up 2 solo shots right afterwards. And earlier we was talking, I'll throw it right over to you, Jigga, but it's when you bring in Clark Smith, right, into that 5th inning, and he has all of his adrenaline rushing, he has all of his endorphins riding high, you know, that energy, that emotion, he gets out of that inning, he gets out of that jam, he goes back to the dugout, it's all coming out of him. You know, the focus, the adrenaline, the emotion is all coming out of him, and it shows because the next 2 hitters, they connected. Gurriel and I forgot the other kid's name, but they connected with McCormick. They connected with bombs off of him back to back. Why didn't you go to Trevino at that moment? I understand, you know, we're punting the first game because it's the first game. We got to like rest our guys, but we had an opportunity to make it interesting last night.
Yeah, I mean, we all could have our different opinions on did he take Taillon out too early, right, or not. I think he did personally. I think we should have let him ride a little bit longer. But bringing Clark Smith back out was the wrong approach. It really was. Like you said, it's like when I get really mad and I start yelling and screaming, right? Or like Adam Sandler, right? When he's like hitting kids in Happy Gilmore and then he's like, I'm sorry, right? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit you like that. Because it's that energy is there, everything. And then you sit him on the bench, he gets warm, that energy is gone, then you're going to bring him back out. It was a mistake. But we talked about this earlier. You're going to have these issues with the pitching when we're forcing Boone to have to keep swapping out because we're not putting the runs in. If we have runs, Taillon is there 100% another inning or 2. Hands down, he's there another inning if we have the lead. But now we have to trust Boone to pick the next 3 or 4 guys that he thinks is going to work and hope that all 4 of them are on point. It's a remedy for disaster, man.
I think that on October 20th, this Thursday at 11:18 a.m., we can come to the conclusion that you shouldn't be pitching Clark Smith out of the bullpen no more for the rest of this postseason series. Like for the rest of the postseason, Clark Smith should not be coming out of this bullpen. You looked at it, and I don't know why they did this. They tried to get Clark Smith to get a save against Cleveland. Like, why are you putting all this pressure on Clark Smith when you have other guys in the bullpen that can get the job done? You got
but would you rather Schmidt in there or Montas?
I would rather Lou Trevino or Greg Weissert. Greg Weissert, who they just brought up and added to this roster. Honestly, Miguel Castro, he looked good at the end of the game, but Frankie Montas, I don't know what the deal was. I thought that they was going to try to save Frankie Montas for at least a start, not coming out the bullpen as a reliever. Like that right there, I would love to be the fly on the wall, Jigga Man, that listens to the conversation on why to have Montas on this roster.
You see, but that's where you're wrong, bro, because I picture the fly when Boone starts talking, the fly even leaves. Fly's like, oh, hell no, I ain't listening to this shit. And that shit just bounces just as quick, all right? Don't put me in that meeting. I'd be screaming at the little fly. All right.
But Lou Trevino, he pitched 2/3 of an inning. Again, 7 pitches only. He's not overextending himself. No hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. The aforementioned Frankie Montas, who gave up that bomb, he pitched the inning, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 strikeout. Miguel Castro closed it out for the Yankees, 1 inning, no hit, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. And the losing pitcher, Clark Smith. And it's just upsetting because, bro, we was for the 6 innings. We were in this. We were competing with them. We were literally right there, neck on neck. Yeah, our offense didn't show up, but our pitching did. Jameson Taillon. Who would have thought that Jameson Taillon would have been so good for us? Right. Now, you know, if this was Yankee Stadium, that double, that Big G hit, that would have been a home run. You know, but at the same time, Jameson Tyone, you're not sure of him pitching in Yankee Stadium if Houston would have scored more runs. So it's always a hindsight view on things when it comes to that.
Yeah, the good thing is, I'll be honest, bro. I didn't leave last night's game devastated, right? I didn't leave last night's game like, that's it, we're done. No, I mean, let's be real. You and I spoke about it, right? If you look at yesterday in Simonetti's chat, right, with NY News, like I'd say, and he can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'd say about 80% of the people all had the Astros scoring at least 4 runs.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to score. Like, we expect that, right? We saw a lot of 5-4, 6-4, you know, everybody in that ballpark. But we're not even making contact, bro. No, if you don't have opportunities, we're going to run into the same thing. But you know what? It's all right. I'm still telling myself this is the story, right? We got to defeat the Astros, our nemesis. And they spanked us. They gave us a nice little whooping last night. And I think this is our chance to turn it around tonight.
Yeah. You know, and, you know, you got to tip your hat off to them because they showed up. They took advantage on our mistakes, right? Once they saw that we had Clark Smith out there, they took advantage of it. The same thing like when they had Frankie Montas out there, they took advantage of it. They took advantage of situations that we didn't take advantage of. When we had Justin Verlander on the ropes, we didn't take advantage of him, right? And point blank, you're not going to win games if you're not getting 2-out hits, especially in the postseason. Earlier
when you let Verlander start getting in his zone too, that's it. You're tough. It's tough, right? We could have gotten to him early, and we started. Bader did. Right. If we would have just built off of that, I think it's a completely different story. But you let that man get in his zone. How many did he end up with total?
11 strikeouts. 11 strikeouts. 11 strikeouts. And, you know, obviously it's very easy to point at the umpire. But that umpire yesterday, he didn't help out much. He really didn't help out his cause much last night because he was all over the zone. I'm trying to find his scorecard actually from last night. But yeah, what's your take on the umpire real quick while I look this up real quick, bro?
So, you know me, man, I'm forced to be biased, like not be biased, right? I got to look at everything as a whole, right? Because, hey, I'm not just producing Yankees content, right? We're doing all kinds of sports, right? So when you sit there, I think that both ways was kind of screwing both sides a lot of times, right? I think we may have gotten a couple more worse calls than they did, but that strike zone was all over the place. I mean, literally. Like, even the commentators, right? You heard like, okay, right? That awkward, like, I can't fluff this anymore. That wasn't a strike. But yeah, I'm sorry. You know me, man. I can't sit there and just blame the umps. We're not hitting the ball. We're not hitting it.
When it came to the umpire last night, right? He called 149 pitches, right? He was accurate for 94% of those pitches. Now, when it comes to Major League, they want their umpires to be at a 96 to 97 percentile. So he was below what the league expects for the umpires. And 94, it doesn't seem that big of a margin, but a little extra 3% wrong the other way can actually turn and switch a game around. You saw when Justin Verlander was on the ropes. As soon as he started throwing in that, it was a fastball on the inside, getting that call, you couldn't hit it. You see Matt Carpenter struck out looking on that pitch. You know, that's how nasty it was. And credit to Justin Verlander for having a Justin Verlander night. And I this right here, this is all Alex Rodriguez's fault. And I'm going to tell you why it's Alex Rodriguez's fault, right? Because Justin Verlander, right, he is the husband of Kate Hudson. We all know how wrong Kate Hudson was done by Alex Rodriguez. So all of this, you know, Justin Verlander dominating the Yankees for years, it's all because Kate Hudson can't stand Alex Rodriguez, and Justin Verlander is just doing what he can for his wife. So
that's it. The show's over. There's nothing else to talk about. Now you guys all know the true story behind everything. That's it. Thanks for having me. Good seeing you, bro.
But I want to point something out in the chat. The Catrio says the play that Judge made to save 2 runs early in the game was just special. LOL. I don't know how a man that large is so fast. Neither do I. Bro, when he dove on the floor, I felt the earth shake all the way in Dykeman.
Yo, it was like, if you want to know what the sound a tree makes when it falls in the woods, just listen to Judge drop on that play right there. I would love to hear that. Like, boom. Yeah, the kid's ridiculous, man. The catcher and I talked about that a little bit last night. Like, let's talk about that catch because it was ridiculous. And a huge play. I mean, we're technically looking at it could have been 6 runs at that. You know what I'm saying? By the end of the game. So yeah, that was a dope play. Good call.
Yeah, it was an awesome play. But over to the Astros side of things, Jose Altuve was 0 for 3. He is 0 for 18 combined in the postseason. You know, Jigga Man just left, but Jose Altuve was 0 for 3. Pena, the shortstop, was 3 for 4. Yordan Alvarez, the big bopper, was 0 for 2. Alex Bregman, the third baseman, was 0 for 3. Kyle Tucker in right field was 0 for 4. Gurriel, the old timer, the 38-year-old first baseman out of Cuba, he was 1 for 4. Diaz, the DH, was 0 for 5. Christian McCormick, the center fielder, I think his name is Christian McCormick. Maybe I'm wrong. McCormick was 2 for 3, and Martin Maldonado, the catcher, was 1 for 3. And when you look at the Astros lineup, they got 6 hits, but they got 3 big hits from the 8th and 9th hole in that lineup. Explain that to me real quick, because we're not going to win if that bottom part of the lineup is killing us.
Bro, think about it. I mean, let's be real. Altuve will eventually wake up, right?
Yeah.
Because he does, especially when he's playing up against us, right? You got Alvarez over 2. Imagine if their bats were on last night. That's a remedy for disaster for us. Yeah. If there was any time that we could have capitalized is when you've got Bregman, Alvarez, and Altuve. Shoot, even Diaz, right? All overs, and we don't capitalize on that. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I hope they don't wake up.
Same. But you know, when it comes to that, you know, the first 5 batters, Pena is the only one to get any hits. You know, and if I would have told you, hey, yo, Jigga Man, the Yankees pitching rotation, the first 5 batters for the Astros. Oh, I have Guardians up there. My apologies for the Guardians up there.
For the Astros,
for the Astros, they only got 3 hits. Their first 1 through 5 batters. You would have been like, all right, that's recipe for a win. But because of that bottom half of the lineup, they showed up. Martin Maldonado looked like goddamn what's his name, Molina from St. Louis last night, you know, when it came to his bat and his glove. You know, the Astros, they showed up and they won a game that the Yankees weren't prepared to win when it comes down to it.
Yeah. I mean, even the catcher in the chat, if you would have asked that question, Astros fans would be like, all right, we don't win that game. Yeah, I gotta tell you, man, that shortstop of theirs.
Oh yeah, Jeremy Pena,
stud. That boy is a stud, man, and it looks so effortless too when he's at the plate. You know. And when you've got your young kid doing that, helping carry your team, like you said, the bottom of the lineup too, outside of him, you look at the bottom of the lineup and they're carrying the weight. How huge is that, bro? Yeah. When you know you've got your other batters holding it down and allow your big time players to have an off night, I would love to be in that situation.
Yeah.
All season we didn't have that, right? We had more of Aaron Judge carrying us, Rizzo bombs having to come through. If our lineup, our Donaldsons, our IKFs, and them woke up and actually made contact and got on base, the Yankees are a whole different team. But that's the issue we've been facing, especially the second half of the season and even in this playoffs. We need to inject some sort of action into this game tonight, man. And I really thought it was going to be our youth, right? I don't know.
Yeah, well, now I want to ask you that. We didn't touch on this when we was on earlier with Tats and the boys, but when it came to not playing Cabrera, could it be that Cabrera might have been banged up from that collision he had with Aaron Hicks, and they decided, you know what, we're just going to give you 1 day off because we're traveling back-to-back from New York over to Houston. You're playing in back-to-back games. That was a scary collision. Let's just give you a day off. What's your thoughts when it came to that? Because I'm just trying to find the only silver lining and trying to find some reason why he wasn't in this lineup.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that issue, right? Especially when you set IKF for the last 2, elimination game and everything, and then throw him in there, right? You know me, bro. I am not an IKF hater. I know a lot of people are. I'm not an IKF hater. I'm on a utilizing IKF the wrong way hater, okay? And that goes back to Boone and them.
Yes.
Okay. IKF, you tell me, I'd be happy. You tell me IKF's going to be at 3rd, where he should be. I'm 100% okay with that. You make IKF look worse by putting him at shortstop when that's not his spot. That's not where he should be.
Yeah.
Right? And I think in the chat, Mark, teammaker, IKF did get on base. He did.
Yeah.
He did, and nobody else is putting the work in. I mean, if we're not making contact. But as far as the young boy goes, I told you, man, it might be one. I agree. Could be, hey, let's rest you after that collision. Running into Hicks. Could be he celebrated a little too hard the night before. That youth, bro. He's like,
yeah. Car bomb like time.
Right? He's upside down doing funnel hits. Like keg stands. So
he was hanging out. He was hanging out with Frankie. That's what it was. He was in college with Frankie last night. That's what that was.
100%. But I mean, could you imagine if we would have put him at short and IKF at third? I think that changes so much of the atmosphere last night.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
One, you're not having Josh Donaldson come up in big situations now. You're moving maybe Matt Carpenter up. You're moving IKF up. And to Mark's point, and to your point that you made earlier, this is not we're going to bash IKF, right? Because like I said it before on Pinstripe Chronicles, IKF is not the one who's making the lineup, right? IKF didn't decide, you know what, I'm going to trade for Josh Donaldson and Isaiah Kineflip. He didn't make those decisions. He gets put into a lineup, he gets traded for, and he's going out there and he's just doing the best that he can. But the best that he can, it's not as good as what we need at shortstop. It's really not. We need that we need Peraza in there, and hopefully, Aaron Boone wakes up and he puts Peraza at short, put Cabrera at third base, and just sit IKF and Donaldson for today's game. Let's see, Mark. They said they wanted to play Carpenter and Stanton. Cabrera was scuffling a little. Verlander, Cabrera tonight and left. Peraza at short, IKF at third. No Donaldson and no Carpenter tonight. I like that. I'd rather keep, Stanton's bat in the lineup, put Cabrera in left field. And the reason why I was so upset is that Cabrera, when it comes to hitting from the left-hand side of the dish, he's a way better hitter from the left-hand side of the plate than he is from the right-hand side of the plate. So that's why I was expecting to see him in that lineup. Even if you're going to throw in an extra lefty and Matt Carpenter in the lineup, I would have rather him been in the lineup than a Donaldson.
Yeah. And I mean, even Keith Saunders said it just now in the chat, right? Valdez doesn't give up the long ball much.
No,
we have to win with small ball today. We have to. Granted, we all know we usually don't win that way, especially we go long ball. But man, I wouldn't mind seeing T-Maker's suggestion come to life. Cabrera in left, Peraza at short, IKF at third. I'd be okay with that, 100%. And I think it gives us the youth we need. It gives us a change of pace. It's huge.
Yeah, and the Cat Show just brought it up. Valdez, he's 60% ground ball rate, which is the best in all of baseball. And when you have a team that doesn't make contact that much, like the New York Yankees, that right there is not a good recipe for success. If you have a ground ball pitcher and you don't make contact, that doesn't set things up well for us. I always like to compare Valdez to being a better version of Nestor Cortez. The thing with Valdez is he's able to hide the pitch more. He's more deceptive. At the same time, he keeps hitters off pace. He doesn't allow hitters to square in on the box and find the rhythm. Right. He keeps you out of rhythm, and he takes you out of your game sometimes. When you look at his delivery, it's very deliberate. Also, he starts it, he stops it midway, and then he starts it again.
Facts. All right, let's listen to the coach.
Peter's manager. Let's see. We start the game off with shoot.
I don't have to read the rest of it. Sold.
Yeah, I'm sold. Sign me up. Sign me up. Shoot Boone out of a cannon. Peraza at shortstop, IKF at third, Waldo in left field, and Stanton and DH. Keep letting Carp get pinch hit at bats. He had to clarify, no harm to Boone, FYI.
That was like the little silent at the end. No animals were harmed during this recording.
Yeah, exactly.
No Boone was injured during this time.
No,
I think, it's great. I agree. We still need to get Carp going, right? So let him get those pinch hits. Perfect lineup, right? Or at least perfect pieces in there. I would still structure the lineup a little different, right? Especially when it comes to Gleyber, bro. Like we know how up and down he is, how cold. I mean, let's be real. How much of Yankees universe was on the let's trade Gleyber during the trade deadline?
Yeah,
not me. We had that conversation. We actually had an episode about it, right? And you were all for it. I was against it. I still am. But it's these moments like that where you're like, man, when he gets it together, he's so good. But when he's hurting like he is, it affects us down the line. You can't have him as the leadoff runner if he's not touching the ball at all.
Yeah.
For that, go back to Judge at the number one. Why not?
Because even with Judge struggling the way he is, you're not going to give Gleyber Torres nothing to hit if the guy behind him is not doing any damage. And when it comes to Gleyber Torres, he falls in love with trying to touch the left field stands and trying to get a home run through the first 5 pitches of an at-bat. As soon as he gets to 2 strikes is when he starts focusing right center field. Gleyber Torres tonight, you need to focus on right center field every pitch and every at-bat, especially because they're going to be shifting on you and you have a ground ball pitcher that's going to be pitching on the mound. You have to shoot it into right center field. You have to shoot it into that hole where the second baseman's not going to be at.
Yeah, and if you need to use the cannon that Boone will be out of at that point, well, we got you.
we got you. I think the Universal Soul Circus is coming to Yankee Stadium next week, so we could work out a way to get that cannon so we could shoot Aaron Boone out of that cannon.
I was going to say this, and I realized the chat just said as well. You and I talked briefly about it yesterday. What is your thoughts, Hector, if we had Bader as the leadoff hitter?
I wouldn't mind Bader as the leadoff hitter. I talked about it yesterday as well. Yeah, when you look at Bader's at bats, especially the last 2 games against the Guardians. The first 3 games were awesome, but the last 2 games against the Guardians, he's working the at-bats, right? Against Verlander, he had his second at-bat his first at-bat against Verlander. The one before the home run, he worked basically a 7 to 8 pitch at-bat against Justin Verlander. He wasn't striking out. He was fouling off that curveball, and that's when Harrison Bader's good. He's a dead red fastball hitter, but at the same time, he's starting to learn how to work the counts. You put him ahead of Judge. If he gets that fastball, you think you're going to groove it in, he's going to make you pay for it. And at the same time, if he walks or gets a single, that's crazy speed that you have on top of that on first base when the meat of the lineup coming up.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I think it'd be great. And what's the harm of trying it out? What's the harm? Like we're at that point. Everything should go, and that's Boone's. My problem with Boone all the time is he tries to act like he's like this mental genius, right? Like, oh, I'm going to move this pitcher now and I'm going to plan for tomorrow. That's so stupid. It's like, yo, this isn't working. Try something new. That's your job. If you can sit there 3, 4, 5 games in a row and know you're still not getting on base, you're still not making the contact you need, what the hell? Give us something different. I would love to see Bader leading off. And I'm not opposed to IKF. I saw someone in the chat said, what about IKF leading off? I would still vote probably Bader over IKF in that position, right? But so much I just hope we see something completely different tonight.
Yeah. And, it goes to credit for the Houston Astros. Like, look what happened. They lost Carlos Correa, right? Carlos Correa walked as a free agent. They didn't decide, you know what, let's go and trade for another veteran shortstop. No, they had a young kid in their system who they decided, you know what, we're going to give him the opportunity to shine. He may not be the best defensively. He may not be the best offensively in this lineup. But allowing a kid to play 162 games and grow into a major league shortstop is paying off for them in a tremendous way, because now he's probably one of the most dangerous hitters in this lineup. When you put him in that 2-hole behind Altuve and before Alvarez, he hang him and bang him, he's going to make you pay for it.
Yo, I saw a pinstripe in there that says Torres doesn't look comfortable leading off. Facts. Facts. And we all are used to it at this point. We know based on his stance, right? If we're going to get Gleyber Day or we're going to get, oh, snap, right? And last night, you can see it. Every time he came up to bat, it was like, oh, man, he's not in that zone, and it's hurting us.
Verlander struck him out on two strikeouts on a fastball outside. And there was times, now I'll give Gleyber Torres some credit. He did work the counts. He got a few 3-2 counts, but at the same time, he was helping Verlander by extending his strike zone. Now, is this a situation that Gleyber Torres is learning how to be a leadoff hitter in the postseason? This is not the time to learn how to be a leadoff hitter. It's either you could be a leadoff hitter or you can't be a leadoff hitter right now. We don't need to use this time of, well, let's see what happens. The same thing of, let's give Matt Carpenter some at bats and whatever happens is whatever happens. No.
Right. Yeah.
No. But I just want to bring up the pitching side of things for the Houston Guardians.
Let's block. Oh, I can't. I was trying to put my finger over the Guardians.
What happened to mine? Did my thing just cut out?
Well, no, you still good.
I think I just cut out.
You good. All right. Hector can't hear me. Can you hear me, bro? All right. So while he's figuring that out, I'll do his job. All right. The pitching for the Astros, Verlander.
Oh, my thing is frozen. I'm in the
No,
Matrix.
you're good. We all can still hear you. All right. Hector's gone. So was the graphic. So you know what? Guys, I know Hector usually does this little panel stuff. I'm down to do a panel if you guys are down to do a panel. I don't want it to be a vent session, but let's talk about what we expect, what we'd like to see tonight. I just threw it in the chat. Holla at me. Uh-oh. Is he back? Yo, I got nervous, bro. I just put the panel option out there. I told everybody, come hang out with me. I got no graphic. I got no. Yeah, I would have held it down for you, bro. But
of course. But no, to the pitching side of things, I just wanted to bring up the Astros. But hopefully, the Aaron Boone doesn't get me kicked off of StreamYard again for talking so much mess about him. But onto the pitching side of things, Justin Verlander, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 11 strikeouts. Hector Neres from, they traded from Philly, but he pitched the inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. Rafael Montero, former Mets prospects, pitched 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. And Ryan Presley pitched the inning in the third, no hits, no runs, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. Now, when it comes to Montero, the good thing, though, about Montero is he pitched almost 30 pitches last night. He threw almost 30 pitches. I think he finished with 27 or 28. We don't have to worry about seeing him tonight. What do you think? What's your thoughts on that real quick?
Yeah. No, I'm glad we don't have to see him again, right? But to me, it doesn't even matter, bro. Right? All the pitchers, whatever. Verlander was a story yesterday. Mm-hmm. And us chasing every pitch outside, us doing that stuff, you make him look exactly what people think Verlander is. And you helped that case last night with those 11 Ks. So we don't have to face him again tonight. That's the positive, right? Downside is we're going up against a guy that you have to have contact on. And if we don't wake up, it's going to be a tough night.
Yep. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the starting pitcher for the Astros tonight had 20. He set a major league record, 25 consecutive starts that would just what's it? What the fuck is the term? I forgot the name. Goddamn, forgot the name. Spaced out real quick.
Well, I can't help you because you're spaced out and it's your brain, bro. Like, ladies and gentlemen, you have witnessed Hector's brain for it right here live on stream.
He had 25 straight consistent starts of 6 innings, 2 runs, 2 or 3 runs allowed. So 25 consecutive starts like that, and he's a quality starts. Thank you, go James Cook. Sorry, I had a brain fart. 25 consecutive quality starts. James Cook, thank you so much. The catcher, I don't care, bro. Keep it quiet.
We love you, Casual.
We love you, D. But yeah, bro, it's going to be a hard task tonight. And before game 1 yesterday on the show, we were talking about it. We understand the Astros on paper, they're a better team than the Yankees. We're not here saying that the Yankees are a better team, the Yankees who win. No, we understand the Astros are the favorite. The Astros are the better team on paper, but at the same time, the Yankees, we're not going down without a fight. Since 2015, the Yankees and the Astros have matched up 4 separate times in the ALCS. Hopefully, this is the year that we finally get some revenge on them.
Right. This is the World Series right here, bro.
Yeah.
Right. This is the storyline. This is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I can honestly say, do any of us Yankees fans really think we were coming into this like, oh, we're going to sweep the Astros? No. We knew it was going to be a battle. We knew it's going to be something that's going to be amazing to watch. And I think we're going to get quality ball tonight on both sides. Both sides. What scares me is when Altuve and them wake up, then it's going to be scary. If we keep them to where they're not waking up and we can make some contact tonight, we take the W tonight and we tie up the series. No question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we need it. We need to play our A game when it comes to defense and our A game when it comes to pitching. And we need to get timely hits because we've said it again and again and again. And Tats on Pinstripe Chronicle said it perfectly. If you look past the past year since 2015, going against the Astros, it hasn't been our pitching that has hurt us. It's been our timely hitting. It's been our hitting with 2 outs. And I don't want to throw no shade on Dusty Baker, right? Because I think Dusty Baker is probably, one of the best managers to ever manage. He's a Hall of Fame manager. But at the same time, Dusty Baker, he has a history of making bonehead decisions in the postseason and his team just letting him down in the postseason. So hopefully that recipe and that recipe continues and the Yankees could get some success later on down the series.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see in the chat, Pinstripe dropped what he'd like to see as a lineup?
Oh, let me see.
I just put it up. We got Bader, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Torres, Cabrera, Trevino, IKF, Peraza.
I don't mind it. The reason why I like Trevino in the 7 hole is Trevino when he's a 350 hit, he's a 320 hitter with runners in scoring position, right, on the season. So at the 7 hole, if Torres and Cabrera could get on, Trevino could do some damage. I just think Trevino's a waste when you put him in the 9 spot because he's not the traditional. All right, we're going to have the secondary type leadoff hitter. Peraza, I think, is perfect for that. Keep Peraza in the 9 hole so he can be that secondary leadoff hitter. Bader as the leadoff hitter and Judge as the number 2 hitter. I love that lineup.
Yeah, I'm down with it. I'm pretty sure all of us would be. It's a change. It's something different. It's something that makes sense, right? I mean, for Boone being Mr. Analytics, right? Oh, the analytics say this is what we should. Okay, well, the analytics say that your analytics are shit in the bed. Let's change a little bit and try something new.
Yeah.
What up, LA Yankee King?
LA Yankee King is in the building. What it do, baby? But yeah, something has to give. Whether now, this is what I want to ask you now. Now, we've had this conversation before because I don't think any of us want Aaron Boone to be the manager of this team that much longer. But how bad does it have to be for Aaron Boone to get fired after this series? Like, if he gets embarrassed over the next 3 games and we get swept, is he let go?
I don't think so.
Neither
I don't.
do
I think that combo, while Cashman's here, Boone is here. Right? I think if Cashman decides to finally retire or step away, then that changes the possibilities of who becomes our manager, right? So I don't know, man. I just feel like I'm not putting too much focus on are we losing Boone? I'm putting more focus on, hey, guys, if you like your coach and you want him to be there, maybe wake up and start. Let's play ball.
Yeah.
Let's play ball because he doesn't build the team.
No.
He's given the pieces he has to work with. Yeah, he doesn't manage it right. A lot for years. But, you know, I don't think it's time to say, oh, my God, we need to get rid of Boone. People have been talking about it forever anyways, right? I mean, you have the most amazing shirt that you just premiered just a couple days ago of Fire Boone, right?
I'm upset because I got the shirt dirty. You know, I'm like a little kid when it comes to eating food. So I was eating some Ben & Jerry's ice cream and it literally melted all the chocolate. So Aaron Boone literally has a chocolate tear on his face right here. So yeah, I got to wash that shirt.
So do I want Boone gone? If we get swept, then yeah, he should be, right? Forget the name, forget who he is. He should be. He should. But we ain't getting swept, bro. Same time.
Yeah, there you go, Mark.
We ain't getting swept. Yo,
that's
Mark,
right,
for
baby.
some reason, you and I are in sync today, bro. How you doing?
Really is. Mark about to take my job on the panel. He's about to jump on the panel one of these days. Uh-oh. Of course.
Oh, no. Ladies and gentlemen, it's nice hanging out with you on the Yankees Morning Brew. I'm out.
No. You better not leave me. You better not jig man. You better come back. DiCastro, what is up, brother? First of all, I just want to say, as somebody who is bald, I'm very jealous about the locks that you have on your head. You have a nice little look at that. Look, I wish I had the ability to do that. Now you may have blood rush to your head and have a headache, but D, what is good, baby?
Joe, wait, Jacob, why'd you run away?
He's running away.
I didn't come on here to gloat. I didn't come on here to do anything, honestly. I think y'all 100% should get rid of Boone.
Yeah,
100%. I don't think, sweep or not, if you lose, I think he should go because I think he's a terrible manager, in my opinion. But I also think, and this is something that I've always questioned when it comes to the Yankees, and this is just me as a baseball fan in general. What is the Yankees' obsession with trading for and making plays for guys like Carpenter? What's his face? Donaldson, like, what is the obsession with these guys? Because I mean, they're great in spurts, but in my opinion, like, they just don't trust their farm? Like, what's the deal here? Because I just don't think these guys, when it comes down to it, these guys that are past their prime really get it done anymore, you know? I don't know. You know, this is just thoughts from a baseball fan.
No, D, and that's a great question, bro. I literally look at it as like Aaron Boone likes to shop in Brian Cashman likes to shop in the bargain bin, right? He loves to go shopping in the bargain bin when it comes to getting players and trading for players, right? We saw it with Luis Castillo. Instead of going all out for Luis Castillo, he went to the bargain bin for Frankie Montas, who was injured early in the season, and he was injured going down the stretch with us, and he gave up a home run yesterday to you guys. So that was bargain bin hunting. The same thing with, you know what, we're not going to put the money out to pay for Carlos Correa because we could trade for Josh Donaldson and solve it with IKF. And look how that turned out to be.
You need Correa. In the offseason, if you re-sign Judge, I 100% think you throw the bag at Correa too, even if it's for 2 or 3 years. You know, don't give him no wild long contract, but if you give him 2 or 3 years, put Correa in that lineup. You know, I think that right there, honestly, would be a really good deal. That's just, you know, coming from, you know, don't take it from the guy that knows Correa and how he plays, but, you know, I think that would be a good fit. I think he should have signed there last offseason. Like, I honestly thought as soon as he walked from Houston, I'm like, he's 100% going to be a Yankee because it just naturally, in my opinion, it fit, you know, and the deal didn't get done and the Twins overpaid and now he's walking from the Twins. But
I think Cashman's thing too is he also always wants to go with that. This is either going to be really awesome and I look like a genius or bust, right? And you can say that with pretty much every trade, especially the last 2 seasons, right? Think about it last year. It worked when we had Gio Urshela, right? You got this, and he thought he was going to hit gold again. He really did. And I think there's been splashes with some of them, but nothing that you can sit there for the entire season and say, oh, that was amazing trade right there. You haven't been able to say that. It's been a lot of the hit or miss. And it's like, if it hits, it's amazing. But when it doesn't, it's like, what are you doing? And that's what we've been dealt with for the last year.
Yeah. And to dive a little bit deeper into that, it's the big moves, the big players that come over like a Joey Gallo. Keith just said it in the chat. Like a Joey Gallo, like a Josh Donaldson. They don't produce here. But when you get Jose Trevino for pennies on the dollars, he's an all-star. When you get Harrison Bader for Jordan Montgomery, then Harrison Bader turns into, like, you know, Barry Bonds in the postseason. So those little minor moves, they work out for Brian Cashman. But when he makes a move to bring in somebody who's supposed to be an impactful player or impactful back, that's when it doesn't work out.
But you know what's crazy though is like that Bader edition, like he should be starting. He should be playing every single game. Like Bader, in my opinion, Bader's a fantastic defensive outfielder, you know, and his bat, he can hit the ball pretty well, you know. I mean, you saw it last night. He hit a shot. But, you know, I don't know, man. I don't understand why this happens every year with you guys because trust me, baseball is more entertaining when the Yankees win. And that's just across the board. Like baseball is more entertaining when the Yankees win, when the Yankees are in meaningful games, when the Yankees, you know, play up to their potential. It's just, I don't know. It's tough. I do think that definitely a new manager would probably be in your best interest, but who do you go get? You know, who do you want?
I mean, even James Cook said in the chat, right? Here's the dream scenario, right? If you want Mattingly and Jeter, they do it now. Have that combo together.
Something. Brian Cashman, Aaron Boone, he doesn't have that chutzpah. You know, he doesn't have that, you know what? 26 of his guys on the roster are going to run through a wall for him. I just don't see it. I don't see him having that support from the players that a Joe Torre did. You know, when you look back, you know, you rewatch that Derek Jeter documentary. It's a great documentary, but if you watch that, the respect that Jeter has for Joe Torre, to this day, he still calls him manager, right? He still calls him Coach T to this day. And I don't think Aaron Boone has that same respect from anyone in the locker.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it the other day, right? When the interviews were happening, right? I don't know why I wasn't put in to pitch. I was available. I don't know what's going on. Ask him. Ask the coach. But again, man, we can blame so many other people and pieces on this, right? Each one affects the other. At the end of the day, you have a team that needs to perform, and we didn't perform last night.
Nope.
And, we just need to turn that around big time. I see we got somebody else backstage if you want to bring them up.
Oh, LA Yankee King. My fault. I didn't even see you back there.
All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the Manny Actor conversation. What up, LA?
What's up?
First of all, Adian, you have to send me like whatever intro you have for when you come out as a wrestler, so that way I could play it on the stream every time you're gonna come up onto the panel. I could just play your intro music for you.
Are you a wrestler? Because you were huge. I mean, I can definitely see that. Like he put his hands together just now, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Well, I don't really have big arms. I'm working on it.
But he has a big hands to choke you out.
That's what I'm saying, dog. God.
Yeah. But Li, bro, before we
it was just because they were closer to the screen.
either or. But Li, before we cut out, because it's 11:56, but we're upset from last night. Give us your thoughts real quick and just pass it over afterwards to Jigger Man before we dip.
Aaron Boone needs to stop using Clark Schmidt in a terrible situation. You bring him in for 1 inning, okay, good, you got out of it. Now don't bring him back for the second.
Yeah.
Bring in somebody else. I don't care if it was Herman. I don't care if it's Herman, go with it.
Yeah.
I would have rather anyone else
than your big guys.
Yeah, I would have rather anyone else.
Plays better in the bullpen.
Yeah, I think Hector, you said it about that situation earlier. Pretty great. Mm-hmm. You just got out of a jam. You're hyped up. You're super stoked. Don't bring him back in. He did his job. Let him have that moment. You worked him right. Not only do you bring him in and then he gets rocked a little bit, that's again another pitcher now that's going to be in their head. Another one that feels that they didn't do things right. And we're having to rely on a bullpen with pieces that we're missing.
I tell you guys who I'm missing the most in this series. Aroldis Chapman.
Oh God! I know. Of course you would. Of course you would. I know Altuve's missing.
They want to come pick him up.
You
need Altuve to pick him up. He's kind of
Listen, if you miss him, Doc, you can take him. You can have him.
We're done babysitting him.
You're done with him, huh?
I think Altuve wants the Astros to hire him to be the BP coach, so he.
Dog, and you know what's crazy is I only want to touch on that for 2 seconds. Altuve not having a hit is terrifying because they're still winning. Like it's absolutely it's the damnedest thing. Like he made that throw yesterday, and Yuli's foot was off the bag, but it's Altuve looks rough right now. But
and that's what I was saying before, DiCaprio, is you've got other pieces that are performing that your studs are able to actually be in this fluke situation where they're not hitting. It's huge. I'd give anything for that. I'd love for the rest of our team to be hitting so our studs can get there. Right? Yeah. We're in such a mixed bag situation. But hey, do me a favor. Feel free to call Altuve and tell him he can just keep playing the way he's playing right now. Right?
Hey, you know what? I mean, I might just have to because the rest of the team's picking him up. But yeah, no, I think game 2 tonight's going to be a really good game. Yeah, Altuve hasn't hit because he doesn't have Chapman to look forward to.
That's a fact.
Spot on.
Now, DiCaprio, I want to ask you real quick, DiCaprio, and I'll throw it over to LI after this. But what's the feeling from Astro fans with Altuve for the first 2 series? You guys won, against the Mariners and now against the Yankees. Him not having a hit overly, is this something that you're worried about? Give me your tone, what you're feeling when it comes to Altuve.
Personally, I 100% am concerned a little bit, because it's just one of those things that this is something we haven't seen from him. He's always been consistent, whether it be regular season, postseason, and it's one of those things where across the board, I think that, nerves are a little tight. I think it'd be worse if we were losing. If we were losing, I think this would be a lot worse. But I do think it's okay, as of now. Real quick, Keith, I love how we approach Jordan. If the Yankees just throw Jordan inside and don't give him those outside pitches to just put over the left field porch, I think honestly you can neutralize him for the entire series. If you just pitch him inside good enough and just don't give him anything to just kind of flip the bat and the ball goes the other way, that's the secret to pitching Jordan. But hey, what do I know?
Well, you pitch Jordan inside so he doesn't hit anything into the Crawford boxes. That's the big key about it. But Li, real quick, let's do some predictions because it's about to be 12. So tonight we got Luis Severino going on the mound for the Yankees. What are you expecting out of Sevy?
What I'm expecting out of my guy Luis Severino, I'm expecting six innings, 2 runs, 9 or 10 Ks.
Okay.
And then hopefully the bullpen does, and hopefully Aaron Boone grows a brain and actually throws our bullpen.
Now we're asking too much, Eli.
Now you're asking too much. Now we got to go to take a trip to the Wizard of Oz so you can get a brain for Aaron Boone. But the catcher, I wanted to ask you this, D. When it came to the Astros, their approach against Jameson Taillon pitched 4 1/3, no strikeouts. So they were swinging early and counts. Is that an approach that the Astros have gone with the entire season, or is that something that's new?
Dude, they love to jump on first pitch. They love to be – they're an attack-first team, and I think right now they can play with that style, because, they're up right now. They were up in that first series. It's like you can play with that attack early in the count style, and I think it works best for this team also because a lot of this team really do, they really are fastball hitters. So I think that, I think it's good. And if Severino's got the right mix tonight, I mean, he could be spot on with the 6 innings, the 2 runs, the 10 Ks. I think it's really just about what do we get from Framber Valdez, honestly. If he pitches good, this could be another one of these, 4-2 games, 2-3, 3-2 type games. Right. Because, Framber, like we were talking about earlier, when the ball gets hit, it just goes in the dirt. So, I think it'll be an interesting game. I think this will be another one of those really good games. Yeah. Because I don't think you guys are just out of it at all. It was game 1. Y'all had to travel, celebration. So we'll see tonight. I think we're set up for a really good, a really good series, and I think whoever wins here wins it all. So
nice. You're real nice to catch you. I really like that. You're very sweet.
I'm a nice guy. I really am, man. I respect Yankees fans until they come with the trash can bullshit. I really do respect Yankees fans. Like I do. Like I've never had an issue with Yankees fans. It's just like, we bring up the trash cans and I get it. It was a terrible thing, terrible time. But hey, what can we do?
Eli, you had something you want to say and then throw it over to Jigga Man afterwards.
What I wanted to say is with Framber Valdez, he did start June 25th on that no-hitter that started the 18-inning scoreless streak.
Oh, God.
And that's kind of to the Astros' benefit because they know. I think the Astros kind of more have the mindset of we're winning this series because it's always been in the Astros' head. 15, 17, 19, they can't beat us. Even on our worst day, they can't beat us.
Yeah, I don't think anyone that's a part of that Astros roster is scared of the Yankees. Go ahead, Jigga.
Nope.
Talk about the Sevy situation, right? I think I'm happy that Sevy got the monkey off his back last playoff game, right? We were all hoping, are we going to see Sevy actually not get rocked? I think if Sevy can come in and find that comfort zone those first 2 innings, then I agree 100%. We're going to see, 8 to 9 strikeouts right around there. And I think DiCaprio hit on the head. We're going to run into one of those 3-2, 4-3, like something really close. I'm not even going to say which way, right? I think if both pitchers come in locked in, especially off the game, the first and second inning, we're in for a game tonight, a big one.
Yeah, big one. And
we need you, Sevy.
We definitely need you, Sevy. And DiCaprio brought up the trash can situation, right? When you look at that, there's only 3 players that remain from on the Yankees. There's only 3 players that remain on the Yankees. Yeah, that were around from back then. It's Aaron Judge, Aaron Hicks, who is out, is not going to play anymore in the postseason, and Luis Severino.
Yeah.
Severino, if you remember, in 2017, he had a first half of 2017 where he was basically like Jacob deGrom. He was pitching to an ERA that was below 2. He was, I think he was 8-1 on the season. But then he had that one start against Houston where he got injured because Houston weren't swinging at his slider. They was letting go of the slider. So he overextended himself, got hurt. And I think ever since 2017, in the back of his mind, he still has the Houston Astros as somebody he has on his target. And I think hopefully tonight, I don't mean to talk trash to Catcho, but hopefully tonight, Luis Severino can find what he was missing from back then.
Because just know, if y'all do lose this series, I'm going nuclear. I want a whole hour special. I want the whole thing. Give me the whole enchilada because I want it all.
You got it. You got it.
Like I said, man, I think it's going to be a great game tonight. I love October baseball. It's the absolute best. So
100%.
Are you going to go to a game? Are you going to go?
I'm trying to get one of these games in Yankee Stadium. So I'm trying to get some tickets. I may get a standing room ticket just so I could be into the stadium and try to sneak to somebody's seats who leave early in the game.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah, but I'm about to dip off too. DeCatcher, I appreciate you. Li, like always, brother, appreciate you. Jigga Man Portal, my man, pots and pans. Love you, baby. And like always, Yankee fans, just know we got this. We got Luis Severino on the mound. Keep our fingers crossed and let's keep hope alive. Jigga Man Portal. Let's go.
Peace.
We out. Peace.